with the association, longtime Indiana Pacer Reggie Miller showed loyalty to his former head coach Larry Bird on Friday. Miller played under Bird for 3 seasons with the Pacers, making 2 All-Star games during that span. Now, in an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show, Miller said he would take Bird in his prime over LeBron James in a hypothetical draft.
Larry Bird at his best, LeBron James at his best.
Oh my God. And do we have to put the teams too, or just individual players?
If there's a draft,
oh my God,
you can take Bird or LeBron.
Oh.
So let's say I take Larry at this age, when I think he averaged 30, 10, and 7, something like that, and LeBron right now. So you got Larry Legend
Okay,
or
now
LeBron.
what rules are we playing to?
We're playing today's rules.
Oh, I gotta go with Larry Joe. I gotta go with Larry Joe. In today's rules, you can't touch him.
Yeah.
And Larry, so this is 27, 28-year-old Larry and 27, 28-year-old LeBron,
Yeah.
right? Or is he 30 now, right? 30.
Yeah.
So 30-year-old Larry, 30-year-old LeBron.
Okay, give me Bird's stats at 30.
At 30.
Is that was an MVP season, I think?
Yeah. Wow. 30 points a game, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block.
Hey, can I ask that question now? Larry Joe.
Yeah. So
Larry
if he averaged
Joe.
30 back then, you take Larry Joe.
Larry Joe, for the win.
If Reggie would take Bird over LeBron, do you concur, my friend?
Stephen A. Smith, I do concur. I do agree. In a hypothetical draft, that's what they started off with, I'll take it at any age. You can do it at 18 or 22 or 26, 28, or as they finally concluded at age 30. I'm going to take Larry Bird just a little bit over LeBron James. Now, you can argue, oh, LeBron is such a superior athlete, and I will not argue back. But as an all-around basketball player, as a leader, and especially as a clutch shooting difference maker, I'm all about Larry Bird. He was a bad boy. For those of us, those in the audience who are just too young to know, bad boy. Better shooter from LeBron at any distance. 3-point shooting, percentage, whatever you want to do, and especially from the free throw line where he often led the league in free throw percentage did Larry Bird. Better rebounder, clearly just a little bigger, had a little bit better knack under the basket for acquiring rebounds a la Dennis Rodman as a below the rim 6'9" rebounder. I'll give LeBron a slight edge as an assist man, but only a slight edge because Larry Bird had the passing gift. And then we come to defense. I'll give LeBron a slight edge there, but Larry Bird, as you know, Stephen A. could wreak havoc on defense to the point that he often led LeBron in the steals category. So I'm going to give Larry a slight balancing edge there. Then we get to leadership, intangibles. They spilled over from Larry Bird, as you well know, because you're old enough to have covered him, which is why Larry Bird has 3 rings, lost 2 finals, no shame there, to Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, all the rest. Would I take him over LeBron James to start my franchise? Yes, I would. And I don't think it's even close.
Well, let me say this. I think that LeBron James is a superior athlete. I think for the first 45 to 46 minutes of a game, I don't know if there's anybody in the world that you can pick over LeBron James because he's a freak of nature, a physical freak of nature, being the fact that he's 6'8", 250 pounds, locomotive coming at you, capable of not just scoring but also defending and playing on both sides of the ball. I got to give LeBron credit where credit is due in that regard. But there's no way on earth that I'd pick him over Larry Bird in the clutch. I can tell you that much. Larry Bird was not just a superior shooter from anywhere on the court, just like you highlighted. Not only was he a near 90% shooter from the free throw line, which LeBron could never brag about, but also Larry Bird was Mr. Clutch. When the game was on the line, you knew that the ball was going in Larry Bird's hands, and there was little to nothing that you could do to stop him because he was that much of a marksman of the highest order, one of the most lethal marksmen we've ever seen in the game's history. But the reason why I also feel the need to side with my man Reggie Miller is because when that intangible about winning, it is something that LeBron James took years to learn, even though he deserves to be respected and that should not be held against him. What's undeniable, Skip, is that Larry Bird, whatever intangibles LeBron James strived to develop and ultimately did to some degree, but is still working on in terms of its completion, Larry Bird walked into the NBA with that attitude. He walked into the NBA with that gift. And there was an accountability factor that came with being on the floor with Larry Bird because there was a certain level of excellence that was expected, and there was a certain level of dereliction of duty that would not be tolerated. We've seen LeBron James tolerate a lot of things throughout the years, trying to fit in, trying to get along, trying to be that, what he thought a leader was supposed to be. Larry Bird never paid any attention to any of that. He was Larry Bird, and he came in there with a level of greatness coming from Indiana State, and he put the basketball world on notice that he was going to be a legend and he was going to be a winner. And anybody that played with him had damn well better adopt that attitude, or they were not going to be wearing the same uniform as him. That was Larry Bird. And we haven't seen that really from LeBron James, to be quite honest with you. So, in terms of leadership, in terms of clutch, in terms of shooting ability, and overall championship credentials, not just trophies, but a mentality, Larry Bird gets the nod over LeBron James. But you still can't dismiss the greatness of LeBron James.
I must admit, I am shocked that you're not defending LeBron a little harder because I anticipated you would.
I can't.
No?
Money time, whether it's a particular juncture in the season where you're trying to position yourself for the playoffs, or you're talking about the last minutes of a game, or you're talking about the last shot in a game, or you're talking about a game 7, or you're talking about anything that indicates clutch. You simply can't pick LeBron over Larry Bird because you can pick almost no one in NBA history over Larry Bird because he was a marksman of the highest order. When it was money time, you knew where the ball was going, and you also knew there was little to nothing that you could do about it. It was just a matter of whether or not Larry Bird was going to make it or miss it. It was not a matter of what he was going to put himself in position to do or what he was going to be capable of doing, because he was that big time. He was Larry Bird. I can't deny that.
We take a quick look at those stats, the age 30 stats between Larry Bird, LeBron James. Larry Bird got him by 3 points in overall average scoring. 3 rebounds a game he's got him by, which is pretty significant. Got him slightly in assists, which surprised me.
He's not in Bird's league when it comes to passing the basketball.
Field goal percentage is substantial, 52.3 to 48.8. And then finally, that was another year. Larry Bird at 91% led the league in free throw percentage.